Okay. So, on the count of three?
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Happy 200th episode!
Or something.
Welcome to the Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Thank you, Travis Roy. Thank you for that birthday greetings for the Skeptic Zone. Yes, we're still having great fun with the 200 episodes just gone by. And welcome to show 201, episode 201 of the Skeptic Zone for today, it's actually the 26th of August, 2012. Richard Saunders here with you from Sydney, Australia. Slightly worn out Richard Saunders, and you might tell in my voice, I've just spent the last 2 days at the Powerhouse Museum here in Sydney with Dr. Rachie doing our Mystery Investigators show for the public. In fact, we were doing 4 shows a day, so we're quite worn out. But a little snippet from that show are coming up later on in the Skeptic Zone to give you an idea of some of the fun that we get up to. But let's kick off with some more interviews from our good friend Maynard in Las Vegas at TAM 10, the amazing meeting. He speaks with Carrie Poppy, who is the communications director at the James Randi Educational Foundation, and also part of the team that put out the Oh No, Ross and Carrie podcast. This is a very funny interview, folks. I've got to tell you, I was laughing a lot when I was putting this one together in the old edit studio. I think you'll really enjoy it. And after that, Maynard catches up with Brian Hart from the Independent Investigations Group from Hollywood. And Brian's going to tell Maynard about some of the investigations they independently do. Independent Investigations Group, I'll leave you figure that all out with Maynard. His interview with Brian Hart coming up a bit later in the show. Now, a couple of other announcements. Of course, when I woke up early this morning and I was getting myself ready to head into the city to do the Mystery Investigators, I saw the very sad news of the passing of Neil Armstrong. And I scarcely know what to say. Of course, we all know who Neil Armstrong is and the wonderful inspiration he is for many people. And I vaguely remember seeing the very first moon landing when I was a very small boy, about 4 or something at the time, probably not even 4, I can't remember. So, a sad day in space history, I guess you'd say. He was, by all accounts, a wonderful human being into the bargain. And what else do we have to say? Well, I've got a message from our friends in the ACT in Canberra, the Canberra Skeptics. They're having an evening with Lawrence Krauss. Now, this will be on Wednesday, the 5th of September, 2012, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Lecture Theatre, CSIRO Discovery Centre, Clunies Ross Street in Acton in the ACT in Canberra. And if you're not a member of the Canberra Skeptics, you can get in for a gold coin donation. Visit www.canberraskeptics.org.au. And a shout out to the Captain Cynic website, www.captaincynic.com. Check it out. They've got some forums there, some science forums. And thank you, Captain Cynic Forum, captaincynic.com, for giving a link and a plug to the Skeptic Zone podcast. Much appreciated. I'm going to rest my voice, folks. I've been talking for 2 days straight with Dr. Rachie doing these performances. Whew, quite tiring, but good fun and really worth it, I think. Really well worth it. But I'm going to run downstairs. I'm going to open the fridge. That poor fridge, I think the door handle's just about to fall off. And I'm going to find, what haven't I had yet? Open the fridge, open the door, look inside. My favourite drink from when I was a kid. Chocolate milk. Good old chocolate milk. I'm going to have that, and I'll let you enjoy the Skeptic Zone.
Here's
Maynard spooky action at a distance.
Well, here we are once again. I thought I'd ring that there. Now, who are you and what are you doing here?
I'm Carrie Poppy. I'm half of the duo in Ono, Ross, and Carrie, and I'm also the communications director for the James Randi Educational Foundation.
So you've got really, really close to Mormons.
That's true. So close I am one, technically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look, your show, you do lots of unusual things. You go there so we don't have to. What's the one that's been the most irkiest, the one that makes you have to have a shower when you get home? But your partner goes with you, so it's kind of okay.
Well, actually, I think our most recent one was probably the ickiest one. I did the Master Cleanse for 4 days. It's where you only drink lemonade, cayenne pepper.
So it's a pooping thing.
Yeah, well, yes, to put it delicately, yes. So you drink lemonade, cayenne pepper, and take laxatives twice a day, and that's all you eat. And that was horrible. And then Ross did colonic hydrotherapy.
I have done that a few times, and it's a very strange thing.
It is, and I got to sit in the room and watch it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Because you never usually watch it. They normally put on a video of vegetables or something.
Oh, do they?
Yes,
They didn't even make an attempt to give Ross a video.
No, I had the very high-class one where you're sort of there and the nurse comes in and does something that you would normally do with someone, you'd pay a lot more money for it, and it was really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll have to tell Ross he really missed out. Yeah, all we got was an inspirational poster on the wall that said things like, live your dreams, and we were thinking this is really ironic to have this thing up here.
I was sort of lying back with that thing up me, sort of pooping out and thinking, wow, there should be some fetish that I'm really not getting into about the whole thing. And I know women that have been to the same place, and the nurses weren't that great with where they were sort of putting the tube, if you know what I mean. And you were thinking, if that was your thing, you should know where to put it.
You should know where to put it?
Yeah, if you're putting a tube in the bottom, you should know to put it in a bottom, whether it's a guy or a girl, if that's what your business is.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Yes, it was a very strange thing. And what was the weirdest thing about this experience for you? Because you Americans, you're very big on cleanliness.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was the weirdest thing, but the worst part was that I just got horrible, horrible, horrible stomach aches to the point where I actually called poison control to see if I had overdosed on the laxatives.
Oh, right. So that wasn't because of the water they were pushing up, it was because of something?
No, so I was doing the Master Cleanse, so I never...
There you go.
So I never did the I never did the water up my rear part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just did the colonic flush. So it was very, very, very painful, and I didn't expect that. I didn't think 4 days of fasting and taking laxatives would be so painful, but I wouldn't recommend that one to anyone.
So did you, American sizes here, did you drop 2 dress sizes? Because you look about a 10, and did you go down to an 8 or something?
No, I don't know. Actually, I didn't take my weight before and after, so I'm not sure. But I did feel a little lighter for like a day. But, when you haven't eaten for 4 days, the first thing you want to do is eat all your favorite foods, one right after the other. So, did they pour probiotics into you after? No,
I didn't know.
Okay, well, they did with Ross. They came in with this cloudy...
They put yogurt up his kahootie?
Well, not yogurt, but it might as well have been. It was this cloudy, this cloudy white substance, and so
normally you have to refrigerate that stuff so it doesn't actually go off. So it might have been very cold.
I think it was room temperature. I'm not sure. But, yes, they flushed him out, and then they said, well, we've gotten rid of the good and the bad bacteria, so we need to put good back in. And they just pour this cloudy white substance right into him, and I thought, we're just trusting you that that's not vodka or something,
Wow. So this is the kind of thing that in the 90s in the embassy district of Tokyo you would pay a lot of money for.
Perhaps, yes. I wasn't there.
Wow.
Can't say.
It's a very strange thing. Wow. So what other word do you encounter in everyday life that you're going to challenge it? I mean, there's, when we get to woo, there's you could stop people at the checkout of the supermarket, really, couldn't you? And say, look, really, why are you buying that butter? Why are you buying that? So where do you draw the line?
Oh, well, I mean, for us, we just want to sort of share this this outlook where we question everything, right? And it's not about proving anybody wrong. So I think in those few seconds where you're talking to someone at the checkout counter, if you sincerely think you have a chance of having a decent conversation, then go for it. But we're not there to sort of, egg people on and make them feel bad about their choices. So if I only had a couple seconds, I would probably let it go.
Well, some of the big conundrums in life. Adam West, the best Batman or not?
I don't know if I could even name you other Batmans.
Michael Keaton, George Clooney.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, okay, I've actually seen Michael Keaton's Batman, so let's go with that.
Okay. Richard Saunders' haircut from a lot of people saying it's very Breakfast Club in a bad way.
Oh, I think Richard Saunders is very attractive. I've said this publicly. I'll make no bones about it. So, no, I think his haircut's very nice.
Okay, well, that's one for that. Now, Richard's, of course, going to be doing a presentation here at TAM. And what are you looking forward to at TAM, apart from your own stuff where you'll get, huge applause, roses being thrown at you, that kind of stuff? She used to be a 10, now she's an 8 because of that poo thing she did. They're going to amazing.
I'm really excited about the workshops. There's some really good presenters putting on a lot of good information. There's a skepticism.
And there's Brian Dunning, too, so there's a downside to it.
Oh, stop. No, he's a very nice man. No, there's some really good workshops like Skepticism 101, which, is good for not only new skeptics, but also just anyone looking to brush up. And
it's very difficult, too. I'd like to mention this because, I don't know what you do for a job or not, but do you encounter woo in the office where you work sometimes and you have to, have a big glass of shut-up juice?
Well,
In fact, I'm going to have a big glass of shut-up juice now.
I'm lucky. I work at the James Randi Educational Foundation, so... No, there's not a lot of woo going on unless it's self-imposed woo.
You're the finger pointer. When someone's doing bad woo, they send you out, okay, point.
Yes.
You're very good at that.
Yes, more or less. But yeah, so, other than the self-imposed woo, like me taking the master cleanse for 4 days and torturing my coworkers with my noisy stomach, there's not much woo around.
So is that it for diets? Is there another crazy diet you want to go on?
Oh, diets. Actually, I do want to.
Have you had your colours done? That's always a good thing.
My colours?
People. Oh, you haven't done this?
Like auras?
Wow. Yeah. Are you from California?
Yes. Oh, do you mean auras? We don't call it colours.
No. There's another one. Auras is one thing. Colours is where a consultant will come and they'll go, well, you're a winter or you're a spring. That sort of thing. And
yes,
and it really has nothing to do with anything.
Right. Well, I know about that for makeup, They look at your skin tone and say, oh, you're a winter. Is this something else?
Yes.
Something.
Do you think that's woo? Is that actually real or is that woo, you reckon?
Well, it sounds like you may know some deeper meaning thing they're trying to throw in there that I don't know
as
about.
well as the makeup thing where they say you're winter, there's winter colours that you should wear.
Right.
Or they'll look at you and they go, your legs are this long, you shouldn't wear pants, that kind of thing, which I think really, I don't wear pants much at all. So I understand that. So you and your partner should do that.
Yeah, we'll try out colours. I don't know that. So what is the extraordinary claim being made?
The extraordinary claim being made is that if you were a certain colour, that you will be successful and powerful if you wear those colours. And if you wear lime green, you'll be a goose and you'll end up like a prostitute. But like a really cheap one, like not a really expensive one, but like a cheap one.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard this one, and I'm very excited. We will definitely try that out, no doubt.
There must be something like that in California. And in fact, what is the weirdest thing you've found in California that you haven't touched on yet?
Well, I can't really say all the things we have lined up, and there are so many weird things that we have lined up already. And as soon as we hear a funny claim, we go out and investigate it. So I can't even think of one that we haven't touched, although there is a particular fringe religious group that everyone wants us to investigate that is...
The Methodists.
Nope. Another one that's known for being both litigious and perhaps abusive. So we haven't touched them, and I don't know if we ever will, to be honest with you.
Look, that's actually some of the critics of the skeptics movement say, oh, you guys don't go near this religion, you don't take on the Islamic religion, you don't take on the difficult ones, you do the power band ones, the ones that are really easy, the debunking stuff. How do you react to that kind of criticism, that you don't take on the big ones because, basically they're nasty?
Yeah, well, there are a couple things to consider. Well, first of all, Ross and I became Mormons. I think that's pretty big.
Did you have the belt with the stitches in it?
No, we never got our underwear. I know, which is...
Did you get a bicycle?
A bicycle?
Yeah, because they ride...
because they ride around. No, we never got bicycles. We never got temple recommends, so we never got to baptize the dead.
A gay friend of mine actually seduced a Mormon when he came to the house.
Oh, really?
Not at the time, but he came back later and they, did the boy thing.
Oh, okay. And then did he continue being Mormon?
I don't know. I think he did, but I'm pretty sure that homosexuality isn't really it's not celebrated anymore in church, is it?
No, and actually when we got baptized, they specifically asked me if I had any sexual attraction to women, and they said that if I did, they would have to send me to a specialist before I could get baptized.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? Okay. So if you had some really good Polaroids, and go, well, yeah, it was fantastic, but what's this got to do with it? And then you're out the door.
Yeah, I mean, you are talking about two 19-year-old boys who are interviewing you, so you would think there would be an easy out.
So they have no experience whatsoever apart from maybe working in retail at the Gap or something.
If even that, I mean, they're straight out of high school, but they also
you could have shocked them really easy. You go, well, yeah, but, is four knuckles okay? Something like that, something really wild.
Probably. I think they're actually prepared for those kind of things. I think they get a hard time all the time. But I think their major sex education is through this 8-page pamphlet on chastity that has pictures of people playing volleyball throughout it. Because it's an alternate activity. If you feel horny, go play some volleyball.
Gotta say, Olympic grade volleyball on the telly is kind of cool to look at, but not as good as ribbon and stick. Hang on, now for people who know, I love the ribbon and stick. Hang on, this is it's the Olympic event. You do this and you do that. You run around doing the thing and then you do that.
Really?
Yeah, the ribbon and stick. I love it because you can do it at home. You just get like a docket from Coles or Walgreens or something and run around.
And who celebrates this sport?
You will see it in the London Olympics. It's a part of the floor gymnastics. But whatever you do,
I know what you're talking
if you're ever interviewing someone who is a Olympic class gymnast, as I have, and you mention the floor gymnastics, that's like mentioning the synchronized swimming to a freestyle swimmer.
No.
It's very much frowned upon.
Oh, I see. Or mentioning mixed martial arts to a proper wrestler and so on.
That's right.
I see.
And I actually...
I must say, this might not be the perfect tool to use to demonstrate that of which you speak, but...
But I did actually mention to David Carradine once that he wasn't doing the right kung fu on the Kung Fu show. That was a really bad thing. Yeah, he challenged me to a fight outside. In fact, what actually would make you challenge someone to a fight outside if they said something to you? Well, that's it, I'm doing it.
There are a few things that push my buttons that I try to keep under wraps, but I don't always.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Ghosts?
No.
UFOs?
No.
Anti-vaccination?
Little.
Homeopathy?
No. I think we're looking in the wrong category of things, though.
Bach flower remedies?
No.
Okay.
Anyone who says anything nasty about homosexuals or bisexuals, I just really can't stomach that. I have a tough time with that.
Well, you're talking the Old Testament there, and you're talking the Torah, and I think the Quran has something about that as well. Boys and girls.
Yeah, it's frowned upon in many of the major religions, and it was certainly drilled into us in our Mormon practices as well. Although the Raelians...
Did you ever put your hand up and go, it's okay sometimes?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because we were in these...
I'm bi. Oh, sorry, I've got to be going.
Yeah, I mean, my sister is bisexual, and so I would bring her up a couple times, sort of make it personal what they were saying and say, well, you're saying that my sister can't enter the celestial kingdom unless she repents of who she is.
Did they use the phrase unclean at all?
I'm not sure if they said unclean. They would just say things like, it's not God's plan, it's not what God wants for her.
Okay. And did they suggest something else for her, like being on the board of a major corporation like Citicorp or something? Or?
No, volleyball. That's always the alternative.
That's so strange, because that's kind of a bit sexy, volleyball. I mean, they should cricket. I mean, really, cricket. Girls playing cricket, even mixed cricket. No one's getting a horn over that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Or what's that one? Curling.
Oh, yeah. And the one they played in the Beatles movie, Hard Day's Night, where they've got the kettle and they put a brush in front of it. And that's kind of cool.
Maybe, but not horny-inducing.
That's true.
Not erotic.
And look, completely, we'll go down a rat hole here. Best Beatles movie ever. Come on, which one?
Let me think about the Beatles movies I saw when I was 10.
Okay. Hard Day's Night.
Right, sure.
Help.
Never saw Help.
Let It Be. Yellow Submarine.
I guess Yellow Submarine. I think I've only seen 2 of those, though.
Oh, look, they are fantastic, and they only did 5 minutes at the end of it, so it's great.
So when you got colonic irrigation, did the whole Yellow Submarine experience flow to the top?
No. It wasn't even vaguely sexy or I didn't lose weight or anything, but they said, keep coming back, you'll feel it. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So you just did the 1 or the 2?
One what? Irrigation?
Yes. How many times did your friend go?
Well, Ross only went once. Yeah. And then, like I say, I did the cleanse instead.
And Ross was pretty much huddled in the kitchen for the rest of the month, was he, after that?
No, he did. He blogged about it a couple times, and he did share his experiences and didn't seem to have a great time. But at the same time, we're always saying we would not rather be doing anything else. We just love putting ourselves in these situations, and we're just a couple of people who kind of like that awkward feeling.
Well, just imagine the Monday morning in the office there. You're there, you go, hey, guess what I did this weekend? I mean, you must really freak Mr. DJ out.
Oh, no. DJ's always very encouraging and very impressed. He did complain a few times that I went to the bathroom too much when I was on the master cleanse because I was drinking so much fluid. So I kept having to get up from meetings, hold that thought, and go and pee. But no, he's very sweet about it.
Now, if people have some suggestions for you, how can they contact with you? How can they make contact with you, or perhaps get in a bit of an engagement with you about the whole thing? Oh, you two, you're just too weird. You're not treating it all seriously. I mean, really, you should be looking at the bark flower remedies.
We get those comments all the time, and we love them. You can email either of us at info@onopodcast.com. You can email me directly at carrie@onopodcast.com. And then we're also very engaged with all our listeners on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/onrac.
How do you deal with people that just keep coming back and back and back when you answer them? No, we're not doing that. No, that's not right. No, that never happened. And they just keep coming back and back. How do you handle that?
We have very thoughtful, very well thought out questions from all our listeners. And so I can't even think of a time that anyone's fought back too hard. There are a few people who will say, you didn't give such and such a good enough shake. And usually we'll see something true in what they said. We'll say, you know what, you're right. This wasn't a study. We didn't go in and set up a control group, and we're a sample size of 2. And so you might be right that this isn't enough information to go on, and we encourage them to go out and get more information, and if they have something to prove us wrong, tell us.
What do you find the biggest anomaly? Richard Saunders' haircut, or the fact that Brian Dunning always says, I'm Brian Dunning from Skeptic.com when he buys you a drink? I mean, which of those two is the weirdest thing?
I still like Richard's hair, so I guess the second one.
Thank you very much for joining us here, and for all our Australian listeners, say hello.
Hello! Nice to see you. Not that I can see you.
Well, I'm currently, that noise you can hear in the background is Pendulette and his No God Band doing, I don't know, I've heard them do Oral Hygiene, I've heard them do a Strippers for God, and who have we got here? Brian Hart is your label, and what are you, Brian?
Hey, how you doing, Maynard? I am a Los Angeles resident and a founding member of the Independent Investigations Group.
Now, what has been the last big one you've cracked? It's late.
IG. Yeah. Well, you didn't hear about the people who can do telepathy and can levitate. We cracked that problem.
Oh, what
they got our $50,000 and
and you just packed up and gone home.
Yeah, we're going home. Yeah,
and you've spent the money on donuts and bacon.
yeah. Anyway, we've tested around 15 or 20 people over the last 10 years or so, and surprisingly, no one's passed our test, which is designed with them in mind, and we work hard to work out the protocol. So there's no last-minute switcheroos or anything, and they're always genuinely surprised that they don't pass the test.
Well, and because they've set their own tests up beforehand, and they've got confirmation bias in their own abilities.
Absolutely. Yeah, our last guy, we said, how often do you do this? He goes, I do this every day. He said, well, how often have you gotten 100%, which is what he said he could do. He says, it's happened twice in 2 years. So you drove all this way, like about 500 miles to come, because this might be the third time you get 100%.
Now, are you positioned in the best place to meet people with paranormal abilities in Los Angeles?
Not only Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, at the Steve Allen Theater, which is Woo Central.
So you test people in front of an audience?
Yes, we do. Sometimes we stream it as well. We test people in an audience. Sometimes I say we like to keep the audience down. We like to limit it to people we know, so there's no signaling going on, that sort of thing.
And of course, how difficult is it to keep an audience of potential skeptics from being a little bit aggressive or negative to the person on stage?
That's a great question. Normally, we sort of get all our jokes out beforehand. We make fun of the thing beforehand when the person shows up. Complete respect, complete silence if they ask for it.
Yeah.
We keep all the commenting down until after they're gone. We treat them with as much respect effect as we can, even though we can see or can tell there's mental problems or there's some sort of...
Now, I asked Randy this earlier when I spoke to him. If there was a paranormal ability that was real and could be repeated, what would you like it to be?
Wow, that's great. I'd like to be able to levitate, personally.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
And in what way? Because it could manifest itself in many ways. Do you want to fly really high or just skim across the ground? What do you want to do? Yeah.
Flying would definitely be it. If I could defy gravity, that would be great. If I could jump and go somewhere, Superman-like, that's the new levitation.
And what got you into this? What got you into wanting to challenge these people? Did something twitch at one time?
I actually saw Randy many years ago on the Johnny Carson show, and I thought, wow, what a cool job. He's the only guy that's doing this. About 12 years ago, Jim Underdown, who worked for CFI at the time, he started he started a group, said, you want to come and test people? And I said, oh my God, I can come test people? I'm not a scientist. None of us were scientists. We have a couple scientists now, but generally it's general members of the public. We had a Maytag repairman with us originally. And
so most of the times they would say that the testing doesn't work because you're bringing negativity to the tests.
Sometimes they do say that, but we'll say, is that going to be a problem? Beforehand, we work all that out because, of course, we hear all those excuses. We have fluorescent lights. Is that going to be a problem? There's water pipes in the buildings. Is that going to be a problem? No. It's Thursday. The moon's in Aquarius. Is that a problem? No. That's a problem. Afterwards, suddenly something's a problem. But there was one guy who said, I need to have all the skeptics out of the room. And there were about 30 people in the room. All but 3 left. And he was so surprised.
Wow!
Because we don't want you. We want to keep your eye on you, what you're doing.
And how can people have a look at some of these tests and find out the history of what you've done?
No, I don't think they have. I think they see the dollar sign, the 50,000.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. And it's usually a sad story. This is going to prove to my friends that I have this power. I'll be able to move out of my mom's basement. We get a lot of those kind of stories from people.
What about the rest of us to look? You've got a website, a history of what you guys have been up to?
Oh, yeah. iigwest.org is our website. And, it's a whole history of
now, of course, as a local LA guy, this is just a nip across the desert to get into LA, to Las Vegas. And is it a very Las Vegas crowd? What kind of crowd are in there for the Bacons and Donut Party with Penn Jillette?
Rock and roller people. No one different than you've ever seen before.
Well, I got to say, I'm wearing a very loud gold Las Vegas lame jacket.
Absolutely.
And the reaction I've been getting from the locals has been a little bit, wow, that's a bit much. I would have thought this kind of jacket would be fairly regular around here.
I guess to the Las Vegas crowd it would be, but most of these people are not from Las Vegas.
So they're visiting a cross-section of Middle America here at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a large section of us from California because it is that 4 to 5 hour drive across the beautiful desert. So, and it's $20-$25 on gas. Not like you traveling, 10,000 miles and who knows how many dollars.
Oh,
right?
boy. Oh, yeah. But all paid for.
We're talking real dollars, not Australian dollars.
Well, hey, come on. We're actually worth yours.
I know.
And you were getting us in the 90s, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
Now, I've been sent here by Skeptic Zone listeners that donated, and I feel fantastic about that. You must feel fairly honoured to be able to do what you do as part of your job and have people follow you around and know what's going on, and people want to know more about science because of that. That is a great thing.
Absolutely. That's one of the joys, and it's not a job because none of us get paid. Jim Underdown's the only person that gets paid. He's our chairman. The rest of us are all complete volunteers, all our spare time. It's all just fun. I love promoting science. I love being recognized by the TAM people, and I also love to go to my friends who I overhear them talking about, oh, my mom's a psychic. It's like, really? How would you like to make some money? Yeah, well, she doesn't do it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Like, what way does it work? What way does psychic work?
Yeah, and like I said to Randy, if there was a repeatable way of talking to the dead that was reliable, everybody would be using it all the time, and our society would be changed so fundamentally we would not even recognize it.
Radically different. We'd be pushing aside ghosts to get through a room.
That's right, yeah. Almost the search for new knowledge would stop because you could just ask old people to improve on their old knowledge.
100 billion old souls at least have been on the planet since the dawn of man, so that's a lot of people to ask. Yeah.
Well, one last question before we get back to the bacon, tequila, bourbon fest that's going on inside there.
No, there's no bacon in there. It's a lie.
It's just tequila. Okay, right.
Strippers too, by the way. Yeah.
Now,
male and female.
Yeah, male and female strippers with crucifixes on them.
Penn is a all-around guy.
He's an equal opportunity offender, and with the house he's got, there's plenty of room for it too.
Oh yeah, it's a great house.
Hey, now, have you ever heard the Skeptic Zone podcast? And is there a particular Australian tone to skepticism? Is there a way we approach things that is noticeably different that you've ever thought about? I've just been asking Americans that while I'm over here.
Well, unfortunately, I spent some time in Australia in the 90s, so there is a mentality that you guys have, and it's great. Yeah. It's most noticeable at when you do the what's it called? I forget what the segment's called, where you're in the pub and
the drinking skeptically, or as I like to call it, the drunk tank.
Yeah. And just hearing the bus announcements over the PA, that cracks me up. It's just great. That part of it seems very Australian in a way. I can't quite figure out.
Is it that we maybe don't take ourselves seriously, and that's a positive and a negative?
Well, no, that's actually a positive. When I was there, one of the things that I loved about this country, about Australia, was you didn't take yourself seriously. I'm from serious America, we take ourselves way too seriously.
Well, you're still a superpower, or alleged to be.
Yeah. Well, the last remaining superpower, I guess.
Wow, yeah. And how do you think that sits in the skeptic world? If we're not taking things completely seriously all the time, does that put us a bit behind what you guys are up to sometimes?
Oh, I don't think so. at all. Matter of fact, we nicked one of your ideas, which is to. I think maybe Richard came up with this, where you give a prize to the person who brings in the psychic.
Like a finder's fee.
We have a finder's fee. We have a $5,000 finder's fee, and so if that person, you bring your psychic, and they pass their test, then not only do they get $50,000, you get the $5,000. So it puts pressure on the client to talk to their psychic and say, I know you don't need the money, but I need the money. So please take this test. So it puts the onus on the psychic once again. So we stole that from you guys.
Look, if you've got any ideas, just steal away. I think we're going to go in and get forget the bacon, forget the donuts. The tequila bar is open.
Okay. Great talking to Maynard. I am a fan. I listen to the show all the time.
This is Carrie Poppy.
I'm Ross Blotcher.
Oh, hey, Ross.
Hey, we're from a podcast called
Oh No, Ross and Carrie.
We find out what happens when you show up and ask questions.
We've hung out with the Kabbalists.
The Mormons.
We've gone and gotten ear candles.
Gone to the Sikhs.
We show up so you don't have to.
So find out where we're going next.
We'll even have special episodes where we have famous guests like Brian Dalton from Mr. Deity.
You heard that awesome theme music? He wrote that.
You should come visit us at onopodcast.com or
facebook.com/onrack.
What the hell's OnRack, Ross?
ONRAC.
Oh no, Ross and Carrie.
That's our show.
That's so smart. Come join us.
The Australian Skeptics National Convention for 2012 starts on Friday, November 30th with a cocktail evening at Melbourne's Immigration Museum, where you can meet and mingle with free and critical thinkers and some of your favourite skeptics. The convention theme is Active Skepticism, Changing for the Better, and continues over the 1st and 2nd of December at the stunning Spot Theatre at the University of Melbourne. The lineup so far includes James Randi, DJ Grothy, Brian Thompson, Rebecca Watson, Lawrence Lung, Ken Harvey, Rachel Dunlop, Richard Saunders and many, many others. A gala dinner will be held on the Saturday night at Melbourne's iconic Arts Centre. For more precise details and complete ticketing information, make your way to the Victorian Skeptics website and click on the blue button labelled Convention Details Here. You'll find more information on speakers, accommodation, transport and a photo gallery on the various venues. You can keep up with ongoing developments via the Facebook page that's curiously named Australian Skeptics National Convention 2012. And don't forget to follow OzSkepCon on Twitter.
Well, we're coming to you right now from the Target Theatre here at Sydney's Powerhouse Museum. It's a little sort of theaterette. It's quite empty at the moment, apart from Dr. Rachie and myself. We're getting ready to perform this weekend our Mystery Investigator show, where we look at water divining and bed of nails. We do the power balance, power band sort of demonstration for everybody and all sorts of other things. So it's great to be here and do the Mystery Investigator show, Dr. Rachie.
I know, isn't it, Richard? And last year we actually did the Powerhouse as well for the Ultimo Science Festival, but we were in the main room with all the planes hanging from the ceiling and the helicopters, and in fact Dick Smith's helicopter is in that room. But this year we've sort of been we've been promoted a little bit, haven't we? We've got our own theaterette this year, which is really nice. Whereas last year we were kind of just on a stage in the open, which meant we was really just doing shows one after the other, as people would approach us and say, "Oh, I missed that bit. Can you do that bit again?
Do another show."
So this is, I mean, I think we've become professionals almost.
We're being treated very well. It's like I said, it's empty at the moment, but it's a lovely theaterette. I don't know. What do you think? 150 people could sit in here, something like that, maybe.
Probably. Last time I was in this theaterette, I saw the stand-up mathematician. Do you know the guy who does...
I saw that show. Yes, I saw that.
Mathematics Olympics?
Yes, I can't think of his name.
Me either. He's hilarious and he's a bit mental, in a good way. So, yeah, it's, I reckon, 100, maybe 120 or something.
Yeah, comfortable size, I think. A comfortable size. But as I said before, we're going to do the Mr. Investigator show, which is all about how people can test and examine strange and mysterious claims. We talk about briefly about UFOs and monsters, and we got all this lovely optical illusions, the show on our giant screen.
I know, Richard, we have a giant screen. Last year we didn't have a giant screen, did we? And I noticed that you've added this year to the show, which is new, is some pareidolia. Which is, I'm so glad you did that, because it's such a cool optical illusion, isn't it? And
it is, yeah.
Something that we all fall victim to, I guess. We all sort of are susceptible to pareidolia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is the whole basis behind the Jesus on a toasted cheese and Virgin Mary on the wall and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I was inspired originally by Dr. Phil Plait, who spoke about pareidolia because of the face on Mars, right, all those years ago. Yeah. And then in more recent times, I know Richard Wiseman on his blog has been very big into showing examples of pareidolia. So I scoured the internet and I found some really great examples, like one of the ones I'm going to show everybody today is a toilet that looks like a smiley face.
I know, that's fantastic. You've got photos of... A toilet, a washing machine with two of the knobs that are a bit broken and a shirt hanging out at the front of it, a front loader so it looks like it's got its tongue hanging out, and a toilet that's got two toilet rolls for eyes and the cistern's a bit bent so it looks like it's smiling.
That should get some laughs, I think. Yeah. One of the things I'm not doing in the show this year, and we bring it in periodically, is firewalking. Now, it's a good part of the show. Its downfall is, of course, you can't really do firewalking, so we pretend to do firewalking. I think it makes a good point, but we're limited with time, so we've sort of had to pick other bits and pieces.
The museum wouldn't let us dig a fire pit in here?
And not inside. Not inside.
But, I mean, I noticed that outside they've got a slime workshop happening.
Just outside the door there is a slime We're going to have to check that out.
And there's a thingy. What's it called?
Oh, a Van de Graaff machine.
Yeah, a Van de Graaff machine.
Electric shocks.
Yeah, because we were discussing this on the way in about insurance and liability and what you can actually do without getting into trouble. And I was saying that a few years ago at the ABC they used to have a workshop with a whole lot of stations of soldering irons. And we used to periodically hear kids squeal, as I presume they were getting burnt by the soldering irons. I mean, that was a few years ago, and I think they've probably become a bit more strict about that.
I haven't seen that one for a while, but yes, there's a big row of soldering irons on a table, and they give the kids little circuit boards and a hot iron and say, go for it. And I'm thinking to myself...
That's an accident waiting to happen, isn't it? So, I mean, we do have pointy, sharp nails here today, but because of the principles of science, no one will get hurt.
We're very cautious.
We are very cautious.
We're very cautious.
The only problem I think I foresee today, Richard, is I can't bend over because I went to the gym and I've broken every muscle in my body, and you have a cold.
A little bit of a cold today. I think we'll battle through. It's all right. But, of course, the finale of the show... Well, towards the end, of course, is when I lie on the bed of nails and you stand on my back and all the kids scream. We don't jump and down.
What? We had this discussion.
Not this time.
Forget?
I forgot.
I jump up and down on your back.
But no, that's a highlight of the show, I must say. Well, I'm looking forward to it again. This is the lull before the storm. I'm looking at my clock now. Our first show starts in 25 minutes, but it's all ready to go. It's all very comfortable in here. I think the crowds are just coming through the door upstairs because it's just gone past 10 o'clock. But again, it's just really nice to come here or anywhere, and schools especially, and do our mystery investigator show, because we know that people get a lot out of it.
Yeah, and actually this whole area this weekend is a lot of the streets are closed around Ultimo because there are open days at the University of Technology Sydney up the road, and I know a lot of the unis are having open days today around Australia. So it's a weekend of steeped in academia and science.
It's a big science weekend. On with the show. But there's another great mystery I've heard about for years, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for many, many years, we've heard interesting stories of something called a bed of nails. Now, the mystery is, of course, how can people possibly lie on a bed of nails? They would injure themselves. It's just ridiculous. If only we had a bed of nails, Dr. Rachie, we could... What?
I brought my bed of nails today. I forgot I had it.
How lucky. How lucky. We have a... Let's have a look at this bed of nails.
Our old friend of
And it is really heavy, I can promise you that. Oh dear. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? That's a real... Would you like to help me for a second, young lady? Come down. Now, what I'd like you to do very carefully is you can be our helper, and you can let our audience know by very carefully testing some of these nails if they're made out of rubber or plastic, or if they're real nails. Can you press some very carefully? Does that feel like real metal? Yeah? Can you just press your hand in the middle very carefully? Press harder, harder. Stop! Real nails? Yeah. Yep. You've got some little marks in your hand too. They are real. Now, would you like to do this for me? Just to prove that they are real nails. Excellent. Thank you very much. Let's sit down now.
Richard, I have a bed of nails testing device over here which you might like to use.
Oh, really?
It's very advanced. I'll bring it over.
If they are real nails, of course, they should be able to pop this balloon. If they're made out of rubber or plastic, the balloon won't pop. Let's try it. Are we ready?
Everyone cover your ears. This is going to be loud.
1,
Ready?
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's loud. I guess that means it's real.
It's
a mystery.
Real.
How can people possibly lie on real nails? You know what, Dr. Rachie?
What, Dr. Richard?
Very carefully, I mean, because it is dangerous, I'm going to lie very carefully on the bed of nails just to show you that... Yeah,
you're not serious, are you?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I won't put all my weight on it.
This is what he does for science, people. Sacrificing himself.
All right, here we go.
What if you get holes in yourself or something?
Okay, here we go.
Do you guys think this is a good idea? I don't think it's a very good idea. I don't think I should lie on nails. It's going to hurt.
Now, if I don't put all my weight on it, I just stay like that.
I hope you're not putting all your weight on that.
No. It's too dangerous.
I think... Actually, Richard, if you're going to do it for science, you should do it properly, really.
Can I get up now?
No. I think he should put all of his weight on there. He's cheating. I think
just for a second. Ready? Oh, there we go.
I think he's cheating, guys.
I'm not cheating.
I think I'm just going to go in there and just push him down.
I'm not cheating. What did you say?
Who thinks I should push him down a little bit? Yeah? For science?
I'm not cheating.
No, I think you're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
We're not satisfied. We just want to check it. As scientists, we have to check that you're
Well,
not
that's
cheating.
true. Are you here to help me out?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I'm nearly ready to come up now, if that's all right. Oh, that's not so bad, but if you'd like to help me up instead.
No, I just want to make sure that you're doing this experiment properly.
Really? Well, that's all right.
Just relax.
Oh.
Just relax. Who thinks I should stand on
What? What is she doing? Is she helping me up now?
Yeah, I'm telling her.
I need to be helped up. Ready? Yeah, I'm ready to get... Okay. What are you doing?
Do nothing, just relax.
Oh, no. Wow!
You can get up now. He's okay. No holes.
Isn't it? Well, a bed of nails is a mystery that we were able to solve with science. And we discovered that if there are enough nails and they're close enough together, that somebody's weight, even with somebody standing on their back, is distributed amongst many, many nails. So each nail only takes a little part of my weight. What would happen if we only had 5 nails?
It would be impaired.
I would be impaired. It would hurt. It would not be very nice. So, from the mystery investigators, thank you very much for coming along today. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
This is an open challenge to everybody in the Canadian skeptical movement. I'm Chip Cherry from the London Skeptics. Everybody in the Canadian skeptical community is aware of the poor state of scientific skepticism in Canadian politics, the media, and the wider public. I'm sure that most of you, like me, would like to do more to help improve this situation. There's a new group in Canada called Bad Science Watch. They can be found at badsciencewatch.ca. They want to become the go-to source in the country to take on bad science, promote good science, and protect and inform Canadians. I'm really excited to see them get started. As with any organization, they need funds to get going. So with that in mind, the challenge! London Skeptics meets twice a month in London, Ontario, and we will be collecting donations from our group members at each meetup to support Bad Science Watch. We intend to collect more funds than any other skeptics group in Canada so that we can win the sweet pile of swag and affection that BSW has offered in recognition. In addition to collecting cash at skeptic events, there is also the option to donate directly through PayPal or peer backers as well. You can find that on their website. It will be up to the individual groups to maintain their own donation totals so that we aren't making the BSW folks collect that information. They have enough to do as it is. The challenge starts now, and the final totals will be announced at the end of October. Let's work together to help this fantastic new group get the cash it needs to help protect Canadians from pseudoscience and promote critical thinking from coast to coast to coast.
Thank you for listening to the Skeptic Zone. Oh, that chocolate milk, folks, that went down a treat. Ah-ha-ha. I feel quite rejuvenated. Good old chocolate milk. Still have to rest the voice, though. Now, before I leave you to have your skeptical week ahead, Choice Magazine, the consumer watchdog in Australia, has published a story which is available online. Can a chiropractor replace your GP? An interesting story, well worth a look. I'll put a link in the show notes for this episode at www.skepticzone.tv. What's of particular interest is there's a whole paragraph in this report about anti-vaccination. Oh boy, the anti-vaxxers, the flying monkeys, are not happy, folks. Not happy. Check it out. Well, I'm sure there were more things I meant to say, but my brain is quite fried after mystery investigating and doing all those performances and having kids run up and down. I tell you what I did do, folks. I tell you what I did do. Before each show, I was showing, as the audience came in, I was showing on the big screen lots of lovely animations and things of planets and stars and whatever. And I think I even started to channel Carl Sagan at one stage, talking about Pluto and Europa and Ganymede and Io and Jupiter and Saturn. And that was quite fun. Quite fun. I'll have a bit of a think about that for the rest of the week, I think. Until next time, this is Richard Saunders, signing off from Sydney, Australia.
You've been listening to The Skeptic Zone. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for comments, contacts, and extra video reports.